All right, so we're recording this on Sunday, February 21st, about a month and a week, I think, from the actual first to 10 event. And on this episode, we're going to be breaking down Boss versus Mester, and we have our resident expert Makoto player Dankah here to help me break it down because I can't do it by myself. I need some character knowledge, some character expertise. So thank you so much for joining today, Dankah. Really appreciate it.
Dude, it's a pleasure. We're
Uh,
blanketed in snow. It's cozy. Let's watch some Third Strike. I got my Star Wars mug that we were just talking about.
nice.
Ready to
So,
chat.
so, how did you feel about the first to 10 exhibition event as a whole?
I mean, I think it was awesome. If you just look at it with context, Matsuda-san, who runs Game Newton, also runs Cooperation Cup every year. He was between a rock and a hard place. He had to make the best of a bad situation. Tried to move Coop twice. Pandemic kept, hanging on, as everybody knows, kept getting worse. Wasn't allowed to run Coop. So the next best thing, legally within Japanese laws at the time, they have changed as far as lockdown goes, recent. But at the time, you're allowed to have X amount of people in a space, and so he did the first of 10 series, which I thought was dope. I mean, it's technically something that they were already running, the Gachi series at Game Newton, which people have probably seen on YouTube, and there's some really more famous ones. You can go watch me versus Tominaga and get destroyed.
Oh, that'll be in the description.
You can watch me. I think he destroys me 10-3, but I got 3 off of him.
Nice.
So it's like something they were already doing, but just take the most high profile people, and especially like what I think is really interesting is not just it's good to look at the character versus character matchup, just like from a more general standpoint, but also like these guys have been playing each other for like 20 years. Like it's like Boss versus Mester. Come on, they've been playing for 2 decades.
That's like if we had access to like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, and they played a one-on-one like in 2021. That's exactly.
Yeah, like go grab Ali and Tyson and say, hey, can we just hang out in the background and watch you guys fight for a little bit?
to SBO1 veterans.
Yeah, and then you have like Hayao Genki, right? 2 like command throw monsters forever in the Third Strike space that played against each other, which is really cool. Boss playing twice, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
So both on Makoto and then on Ken, which I think are his 2 strongest characters.
Right.
I know some people really, really like his Yun, and I do too. Like obviously his Yun is great, but I think his Ken is the strongest character that he has.
Agreed.
And I think that really showed up in that matchup. So Show versus Boss was sick.
Yeah.
And then just before we started rolling, I was talking about the Necro versus Urien matchup and with Sugiyama and RX, which like, if you think, hey, who's the best Necro in Third Strike? You say Sugiyama. And who's the best Urien? You say RX. So you had like the 2 titans of those mid-tier characters, which was really fun to watch. And spoilers, Necro fights Urien really well. I think people didn't really know that either.
Yeah.
And then Tominaga Kuni is like literally just like, hey, let's throw a wild card in there.
Yeah.
And take the craziest Makoto versus the craziest Ryu with the craziest super on either end. And again, spoiler if you haven't seen that one. Okay, gave you a chance. It was 10-9, which is the exact 50-50 scoreline that you want from those 2 supers. Because you have Denjin just being random and you have Tosanami being random. So like they all ended up being really sick, and there was no blowouts. So that was good.
Yeah, it's always good.
And it was like legends versus legends, and that's kind of what you want anyways when you're watching Cooperation Cup. To kind of go back to your question, like, do you think it lived up, or do you think it was like a good replacement? I think it was. Like Matsuda did as much as he could, and they gave you some of the matches, albeit much more drawn out sets, that you typically see anyways in top 8 of Cooperation Cup.
Right. Yeah, I do think that hopefully this that exhibition can pave a road toward more exhibitions of that type for different events, and for different regions, not just Japan. But I think there's a lot of utility in that, like there was a lot of eyes on Third Strike that weekend. And I think that that's something unique to Cooperation Cup, but I think also unique to exhibitions, particularly if they're promoted with intent. I think it could do a lot of good for the game because normally I think in a first to one set, Urien has an advantage over Necro,
I would
but
agree.
but I think that long drawn out example is a good reason why tier lists are necessary. But it's not only that the list itself is necessary, but it's the discussion that comes from the list itself, and that's something that's illuminating, right? Like you would think, oh, Urien's gonna blow out Necro because we've seen Dr. Steelhammer's videos, and Urien is infinitely sicker than Necro, you know?
Yeah, the damage output is not equal.
Right. But however, the way the moves interact, the way that set play is arranged, thanks to like Sugiyama and all the other Necro, players' innovation, it's gotten to the point where you can't just say, oh, Urien is definitely going to win that. So I think it's a nice showcase of how diverse the game actually is at high level, because if that was a different Urien and a different Necro, would look a lot different.
Dude, that matchup, you're talking about innovation, right? And the other the Necro army, which there is in Japan. Like you see a lot of tech if you follow the right people on Twitter. All of the slight side switch drills on hard knockdown after was it SA3 or SA3, right? Yeah. Is so good. And Sugiyama just like whores it out because that's what you need to do to win that set. And yeah, you get to really see like it's just one hard knockdown, but that leads into so much more stun and more meter build and just like that momentum that builds for Necro. And people, if you don't know about those fake cross up or true cross up dive kicks, well, drill kicks, but if you don't know about that, you're like, wow. People get really surprised.
Yeah,
and you were saying like
I have first-hand knowledge of that too.
Yeah, well, that's true. I forgot about that. No. I appreciate you bringing that up.
No, of course.
But no, and you say exposure because like Justin was restreaming it, Tommy Two Step was restreaming it. I was actually going to commentate with Tommy, and then my girlfriend came over and I was like, okay, no, I can't. I have to hang up with my girl.
Fair enough.
But like, I think Avoid the Puddle. What's that guy's name again? Aris, yeah. Who also does restreams of Coop, which is cool. So like he's a fan of the game. I don't necessarily agree with all of his takes on the game, but all of that mounted up to like probably like total like 50K viewers, which is a lot.
Right.
It's not necessarily Cooperation Cup numbers because Co-op Cup can reach like when you count English and Japanese and all the restreams like 300K or something, which is substantial. But like that's a good chunk of people, good chunk of exposure, really awesome like donation drive for Game Newton as well, keeping that open, keeping it relevant, letting people know that like Matsuda is really trying for the third strike community.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. It was definitely a joy to watch, and I did a podcast earlier today with Colin. We broke down Show versus Michael, and one thing that we kind of agreed on is that hopefully this just leads to more like third strike content coming out of the community, and that's kind of what we're doing here today. It's just providing an English commentary of this first to 10 that people hopefully enjoy, and they get some value out of your insights as a Makoto main, and as a person who just has a wealth of experience and knowledge of the game. So really quickly, what do you think, just kind of in a vacuum, of Makoto versus Yun?
It's tough because it depends on what super Makoto's using, in my opinion. I think SA1 is great, don't get me wrong, but SA2 gives Makoto the fear factor when she's cornered, right, and being marched down with Canadian pressure. And obviously, once Yun pops Canadian, he wants to be in your face, wants to get a grab, but to do so, he has to open himself a little bit. Canadian pressure can be pretty airtight, but you can always red parry into even if you can't necessarily Karaksa, you can stand jab Karaksa, and then you can get the SA2 off. So it's really scary. Like I think Tominaga fights Yun's like better than any Makoto on the planet, just because he has that factor. Boss doesn't use that in this matchup, and so there are moments where, like, as you'll see, Mester's just not afraid, and it doesn't end well every time Mester's not afraid.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, I would say like 6-4 Yun, just because Yun has access to Ganajin multiple times, and if Makoto is running SA1, then maybe she only pops 2 in a match within 3 rounds. But at the same time, Makoto has great buttons. She's able to keep Yun away long enough, hopefully, for her to build enough bar herself. But at the same time, it's this weird, like, will they, won't they? Because she needs to stay in that range where she can actually get some damage and get a Kadoxa going. So you don't want to let Yun just run away and build meter, but you also don't want to be bullied. And Yun can absolutely bully you. So in a vacuum, 6-4, but it's third strike. So that's as close to 50-50 as you can get anyways.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, through no fault of the stream or the quality of the gameplay, when I first, watched it live, I fell asleep, in the middle of, I forgot which set, but I fell asleep, and so I don't remember which super Boss used. Did he use one, or did he use SA2?
He uses one, pretty sure. You can look right now, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's interesting. That you mentioned SA2, because I think conventional wisdom is use SA1 against the twins because of the damage. But like you mentioned with the RX and Sugiyama thing, it's like, the reason, RX's entire gameplay in that match was informed by the fact that he knows Sugiyama is capable of this set play. And so it's kind of a similar example with how if you have SA2, it'll inform a little bit of the Ganasian pressure. It won't be as like cookie cutter as it would be otherwise without that threat. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah, it just changes it just changes the whole mindset of when to activate too, which can be really important. Because if you're gonna activate far away, which most top Yuns don't, they try to at least be within like low forward range, low forward cancel and activate even on block, because then you can get some really nice pressure with like forward canceling. I guarantee you, Colin talked about this when you toward canceling Dankah. Yep. Like that is really strong, and because Makoto has such a wide hitbox, you can get pressure in pretty easily from further away. But it's only so far. Like you have to be in that like low forward type range. You can't just activate raw and then, because what you'll see is Boss jump back medium kick, which is like such an abusive normal. Everybody hates that normal. It's just too good. Or just like jump out and run away. So there's a lot of times where if Boss just has like half a bar, Mester's not afraid. He's able to go in and try to, impose his will. But Makoto's still Makoto. She can always grab you. She can parry a dive kick, jab, dash under, reset, like those kind of shenanigans. The damage is still there. Like there's definitely an argument to be made, like you were saying, for SE1 just because of the raw damage. But if you get one Kadoxa into a Fierce, into a Chesto, into another Kadoxa, you've basically already stunned them, which is more than enough damage already,
right?
To follow up, and it's like 90% or 85%. Like they're pretty much dead. So the damage is great, and it's really nice. I think in Yang's case, like you're saying, twins in general, right? SA1, because you can reversal slashes and you can punish certain things like hop kick or something like that to have SA1 and have access to that. And I personally do use SA1 against Yang every once in a while. Depends on the player. But against Yun, it's just so satisfying as well to just like parry a crouch short during pressure and just grab them, and that's it. Especially if you get the SA2 while they're still in Ganajin and the shadows are being hit. It looks so cool. It just looks cool too.
That's sick.
And just meter. Meter is really important for EX Orochis constantly. Like if anybody watches, like when I say the Tominaga, it's either him doing some kind of stupid jump air parry reset where he dashes into the corner and you're falling in on him, which means you either have to guess jump out or block, right? And you get put into the reset. Or it's just him doing low short EX Orochi, low short EX Orochi, and just constantly doing it over and over again on his wake up. And so having access to really strong, fast moves is a benefit, having a bigger EX bar with SA2 as well.
Right. It just gives you more options, right? Like just
Definitely.
more things you can throw at Yun, so that he's not too comfortable. Because everybody's been on the wrong side of a comfortable Yun. You know, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's what you want to stop from happening.
Exactly.
You need to keep him on his toes for sure. Backdash against chesto pressure is amazing.
Yeah, that's something.
Because it goes so far back.
What do you do when, like, what's a good response for when they start abusing that?
You can literally wait. You can just block, and then if they're in the middle of backdashing, you can just fierce chesto, or you can do crouch strong chesto. You can react to it. You can see it.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice pickup as well. There's so many ways to combo Makoto with Yun from mid screen.
Yeah, I know Colin would have criticized that to bits, but he just
I mean, it's also like, I think the other thing, like we were saying before this started, it's guys that have played each other for 20 years, right? So they have to kind of feel each other out at the start of the gachi.
Right.
Nice waiting there too. He gets the first chesto combo or the first Karaxa combo. He knows that SA1 won't kill there, so he has to go for another like mix up essentially. But now he has no bar going into round 3, which I always kind of hate.
Yeah, it's always a tough position to be in. That's another advantage of SA2, right? Is kind of having meter for the next round.
And you can build like half a bar if you get the 100% combo too, to go into the next round. Oof. I don't like these crouch strongs from Mester.
Yeah.
After dive kick pressure.
Yeah, it's a strange choice, but you know, that's I think that's one of the good things about, you know, talking this out, is because, you know, a lot of people do lose perspective as to these, you know, of the point you just made, that these guys have been playing for, you know, each other for 20 years. And so, like, they're going to do some wacky shit sometimes because there's some meta game that they've established, you know, over that time. So, you know, it's just good to talk it out, because it would never occur to me that was like a weird decision.
Yeah, it is really weird sometimes to like try to criticize some decisions.
Yeah.
Because, like, I guarantee you Mester could be like, well, 6 years ago, Boss and I, you know. He has, like, a really valid reason. So, like, Yin's almost already dead right here. Oh, misses the follow-up.
What's the best follow-up there after EX?
There's only one follow-up. It's just the toward light kick.
Oh, okay. I thought Yun was one of the ones she could stand medium kick, but no.
No. Yeah, both twins fall too fast.
Okay.
Empty dive kicks are really good.
Yeah.
Nice confirm off that jump medium kick. That's hard.
Very nice. That was a safe jump too, right? Safe jump medium kick.
And he just Kara'd into Zempo there. That was nice. Jump back roundhouse is a really good option for Makoto as well, though.
Against the dive kick pressure in general?
Yeah. Yeah. There it is. The Tomoyagi.
That. He called it. This is tough.
So see, if Makoto has SA2 right there, Mester is pretty afraid to activate and then just literally walk.
Yeah.
All the way up. Like, he didn't do anything else, you know?
Right, that was just a free walk up.
Ooh, fat combo. Oh my god.
That's a nice way to start. I always you think standing jab there would have been, it's kind of more guaranteed than, or, you know, a Karaxa ideally, right?
Yeah. Even after parrying dive kicks, Karaxa them, nice, that's gonna kill.
Oof, that's
just barely.
Jeez.
That was really close. He's actually really lucky that hit. That was good. Yeah, after you parry dive kicks, depending on the height, you know this, but to explain to other people as well, like, sure. He resets, like, pseudo resets his trip guard counter. I don't know, like, the super technical way to describe it, but if you parry it really high, sometimes you don't get guaranteed low moves.
Right.
And then if you parry it, like, way too close, he's going to recover within the amount of time that Makoto can Karaxa. So it's tough. You have to, like, judge it very quickly based on the height that you're parrying and then make a decision.
Yeah, well, that's good info, because, you know, it might, you know, Colin and I spoke about, like, the instances where going for the non-optimal but guaranteed follow-up, you know, and, like, trying to, you know, like, decide what kind of player you're going to be, you know.
Yeah. And Mester is very just give me the guaranteed.
Right, yeah, he's super practical.
That's a good decision to use SA1 there. And if Makoto had maybe like 20% more life, I would have just done EX and try to save the bar. But
Right.
Boss, like we said, these guys have been playing each other for 2 decades. Just take the dub when you can.
Right.
So all of this pressure, so all of that just started. He's going to do a combo here, but all of that just started because of the cross-up dive kick. And you just build so much bar off of that as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because having SA2 kind of it makes that it makes the cross-up dive kick be more of a possibility, because that's like their safe way to pressure is to get Makoto out of the corner.
Right.
And so, but like without that kind of adds another layer of Oki for Mester. Like it's not necessarily, the optimal decision to get Makoto out of the corner. And
right.
So, like,
exactly.
So like
yeah, because you're giving up
tricky.
the corner, whereas usually you would want to keep the corner, right?
Right.
Against SA2, you don't want to keep the corner. But in this, Mester's like, yeah, screw it. I'll just get a free dive kick on you and get some bar.
Right.
That's the Makoto ender right there. Palm, Tetsuzan, and then Zeisho. I don't know what it is. I feel like Boss is going to win this match right now.
I feel it too, right? It's like,
oh, no. I like that tick throw there.
Oh, the Tominaga didn't work that time.
I know. I like that tick throw there, though. He gets the parry on the dash punch, or I think it was a low something, but he didn't want a chance, like you were saying, go for quote-unquote optimal or for the kill there, when he was like, the throw might actually kill, because it was really close.
Right.
I think that's just how Mester is. He's just like a very safe, standard kind of Yun.
Yeah. It reminds me of Issei a lot in terms of that was sick.
Just like 2 really strong guesses in a row. Yes, to your point, he's very close to Issei, I think.
Yeah, very practical. Oh wow, just grabbed it right out of that Torrid Pierce.
Interesting to activate here. Oh, he's gonna get hella damage off this actually. Dude, look at that.
Wow.
That Makoto ender does so much damage off of low hit combos too.
So much meter too. You got all that with the low forward. Jesus.
Yeah. She's fat, man.
Yeah.
That's what makes this matchup so interesting. Like, I would love to be a fly on the wall when Matsuda was choosing who's going to play who. Oh, yeah, sick.
That was so sick.
Sick Fukiage. Den.
That was OD.
So, for people that don't know, if you parry the first hit of up kicks from Yun, he keeps going up, keeps flying. And so, all you have to do is parry first hit, and it can be low. And then you just Fukiage and it's guaranteed.
Jeez. So all that stun and damage. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like 70% stun off of 1 parry. That's a unique follow-up because she's fat. You can get the second set of up kicks after EX up kicks. Yep, caught his backdash right there. He tried to backdash too late.
Yeah, he did that in game 1 too, but it's not a fluke. I thought it was just like a good, a read. Like I didn't think it was a read. I thought that it was just covered both options, but he did it slightly late. So to your point, like
I think that was off of Makoto's sweep, which is her sweep is like kind of awkward because it can hit it a ton of different distances, and that even though her dash is really far, it can change like when your wake up timing will be and whether or not you can jump out or backdash and not get meatied. So Mester was probably thinking, oh, I can backdash out of this, but it wasn't the right distance. He got thrown anyways.
Oh, nice bait. That Makoto's neutral jump is so strong.
Yeah,
just the options really she has from it is abound. Oh, dirty, so dirty. Oh, he did it again.
It's a very spammable move. Ooh, that's something that's really good in this matchup as well. As I've learned while playing Yun, is you dive kick and it's kind of like a shallow dive kick, and then just immediately jab tackle. Because if she mashes throw, it'll beat that out, and then you get a ton of meter and you can go into this combo. Oh, that was gross.
Yeah.
He full blocked the target combo and just said, "Screw you! I'm still gonna do the dash punch."
There's got to be something underneath that layer. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was wild.
We're just not privy to it. Yeah, this is their personal business. Yeah. Ooh, that was a nice punish. Yeah. I don't know if it was a full punish or if a true punish, but it worked.
second parry on the shoulder is always tough.
Yeah,
Ooh.
those jump back roundhouses, because you can do it so late. It goes so horizontal too.
Mm-hmm.
That was the second round he went for the X-kick feint.
Nice anti-air.
Okay, activate. Yeah, what's he got? Ooh, that's a layer we're not used to.
Mm-hmm.
Just mashed throw off the mix-up. Mashed throw off wake up.
Oh.
Went for the Tominaga. Makoto got it. That button's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. It eats up Yun's low forward, just swallows it whole.
Yeah, like if you were to just, like you were asking earlier, like in a vacuum, what's this match like? There's definitely buttons that are great and some buttons that just aren't. Like her crouch strong, you won't see Boss use that too much.
Right.
Compared to like jump medium kick and crouch medium kick and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah, because
it'll get eaten up by dive kicks all the time if you do crouch strong.
yeah,
it is good for when he's trying to build meter though, just like that.
And like to just buffer it when you're far away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like that move tends to get parried if if it's thrown out too much, just in general. So it's like something for Makoto players to keep in mind.
Especially against Ken. Kens are always fishing for her far low medium punch.
We're lowly fishermen, all of us.
Boss can win here.
Yeah, just one touch.
Oh no. Oh no.
Those are the kinds of decisions that you live with as a Makoto player. It's just like
ideally you want to at least throw Chesto there so you can confirm it or not use it.
Right. And
oh man, he got 4 medium kicks off of that.
Shit.
Okay. There we go. Another mix up.
Wow, he just did it.
Yeah, he just spammed target combo. I love it.
Nice.
Mester just saying screw you, I'm holding up. For the last like 5 mix up, he's been holding up parry. Oh my god.
Nice.
Yeah, last like 5 or 6 mix ups in the last little chunk of that round. Mester just up back.
Fuck it. It's tough, man. You don't want to be on the other side of Makoto sometimes. Especially Yun, he just bleeds, you know?
Oh, dude. He definitely does. That's the thing that, like, him having such low life keeps this from being, like, a worse matchup.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Raw Tetsuzan. Yeah, Boss not timing some of these dash up, wake up timings correctly. He's getting thrown. Nice combo here. Look at that meter.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no reason for like Mester to be afraid of a parry there.
He got the 4 hit too. He got the dive kick into the crouch strong, into the stand short, into the jab dash punch. That's really sweet.
It's fantastic.
He's not going to get that much damage off this, but he'll get the meter and corner pressure.
Yeah, like Sho might have gone for the like reset to get the meter, but you know Mester, he's a solid boy, you know.
That was also a really gross medium tackle there.
A little disrespectful. Oh, yeah,
mistiming, right?
You're right. Yeah, he keeps mistiming that Oki.
It's weird. I don't know. This is the first set that Boss played that day, pretty sure. Because I'm right. Because the last set was Show Boss.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe he's still warming up.
Yeah. I also like how they honored Boss in a way, you know, because he's like this multi-character specialist over there.
True.
And so they gave him like the 2, you know. They gave him the 2 matchups with different characters. I think it was pretty. Yeah, it's to your point, right? Like imagine being a fly on the wall when Matsuda was like, you know, Don Kinging this fight card together.
Getting his Dana White on. This can be a good amount of damage here.
Yeah, that jab tackle, like you. I mean, the jab tackle, like you said. Oh.
Cross up dive kick into short Zisho. And all 4 hit the cross up dive kick hit. She's just so fat.
Yeah.
So many. The reason cross up dive kick is so good against her, on top of it just being solid pressure, is that things often really combo out of it as well because she's so fat.
Oh, that was dirty.
That's kind of the first real Zempo he's been throwing. Ooh. That's some history right there.
Yeah.
Far away, jump roundhouse, reset. He's going to probably do an EX dash punch.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this is primetime dangling time right now for Boss. He's so close to getting his meter back. Yep, that's it. That's it.
Oh,
whoa,
greedy boy. What a greedy
so
boy.
Greedy. Wow.
See, that's some meta stuff going on there.
Yep. 7 years ago, revenge right there. SBO 2007.
Oh, there it
again
goes. There goes the low parry into Fukiyage.
That's a nice punish. He's not gonna stun. Yeah, that's a nice punish right there.
So interesting. Stand jab.
Yeah, you don't have the time to do any other normal.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, all of our other normals are too weak. This is all Boss here. He's gonna run away.
Block. Right?
He's gonna block the shit out of this. Nope, never mind.
Wow. Then that button.
I love Cooney's commentary. Whoa.
Oh shit.
That was a solid match though. Look at this. So Mester, Boss, Mester, Boss, Boss, Mester, Mester. Are we gonna see Boss, Boss?
Maybe.
Is it gonna ping pong back?
I mean, yeah, Boss, probably. It's too strong.
That neutral jump was great.
That's another good tool against both characters. Actually, neutral jump is good against.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, tried to challenge it. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
Makoto is not great at challenging Ganejin. It's not like she's a Buki or Chan.
Right.
You know. Even Ken can kind of challenge.
Nice.
There it was, him trying to build meter.
That buffer.
Yep. And look, he just got to Ganejin. He was like, I need the bar. I gotta activate it.
Right.
Maybe Boss saw that. I don't know. He was like, oh, he might spam here because he needs to get the bar.
That's a good point. All right, just being cognizant of the meter.
It's possible. Look at that damage.
Nice.
Ooh, you don't see that too much. I love it.
Yeah. It got thrown a couple times too, so I'm just maybe he was mistiming it. Maybe that's what he was going for this whole time.
It's definitely a read for backdash. Run away.
Yeah, he can't really challenge.
Dude, that is hard to do though. Credit to Mester, that's hard to do. So what Bosch is trying to do is jump back medium kick, which has that insane hurt box like we were talking about before. But you have to like wait, then see it, then react and hit stand strong as you're walking forward in Ganejin to actually beat it. Wow. Otherwise you just get eaten up. He's gonna reset here. This is not enough damage. Reset here?
Oh.
No, standard. Old faithful Mester. Just screw it.
That's the Evo 2005. Ender right there.
That's a kill.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh. Will it kill?
Jump tackle. Let's rock. Oh no.
That's so heartbreaking.
Oh man. Mester could have just activated.
Yeah.
Maybe that Tetsuzan was his activate and he was just a little flustered.
Yeah, that's probably. I think that's possible. Can Yun punish Makoto's crouching like her sweep with stand short?
He can, but it's just with stand short.
Right. Okay.
So it would be stand short into jab Zeisho, right? And Zeisho for people is dash punch. Tetsuzan is tackle. I'm just used to calling them the Japanese names.
Yeah.
But the sweep offers kind of a weird like pushback, and so the distance is very specific. If it's like point blank, and she does it and you just block it, like yeah, you can definitely punish. But
yeah, but not in that range.
In that range, maybe.
Yeah.
Some of these ranges, he is opting to just like walk forward a little bit and then maybe like jab tackle and just get some more meter build. But he has punished it earlier. It's just it's tough though.
Yeah, right there. That's way too far.
Yeah, that was like max distance.
Yeah.
And it's really good from Boss too because Boss knows, okay, well Yun doesn't necessarily want to just spam crouch strong to build meter.
Right.
He wants to spam crouch forward, and crouch forward sticks him out even further.
Oh,
he might be dead here. Fierce Chesto? I think he might have been able to kill.
Yeah, I think he would have gotten the meter. but
It's possible. It's tough
oh,
though. Ooh.
yuck.
He's starting to parry those tackles.
And that's a big thing, right? Like parrying like those block string tackles. Oh no.
Oh, he's dead. Fierce, Chesto, super. This is stun. And then the follow-up here is hard, though. We'll see if he goes with the jump roundhouse version. No, he had enough time. Mester didn't mash.
So the jump roundhouse does more damage than the fierce?
Does less damage.
Oh, less. Okay.
Yeah, slightly.
Ugh.
Nice. I like that reset.
Yeah.
Look at all this bar.
Jeez.
He's at 60%. One more block string. He's got it. Oh, no.
Just pressing buttons. Fuck it.
Spamming jab is really good, especially when Yun is in your face. Because, like, okay, he has bar there. So what is Mester's first thought? Is like, I need to activate somehow, right? And just parrying a stand jab, because it's a light move, you're not really going to be able to like parry and then immediately go into like launch kick or something and to activate. You can, but it would be really tight. So it's not a huge risk for Boss to just mash jab. And if he tries to jump and neutral dive kick, jab will catch it.
Right. Oh boy.
Meanwhile, Boss just saying, screw you. I'm going to press buttons.
He's got momentum, right? 3 in a row. He's like putting the pressure on Mester to do something sick.
That's what we were saying, ping-ponging back and forth, right?
Yeah. Oh, Tommy.
Sweeps, dude. These sweeps are hitting. Oh, he could SA1.
Yeah. Oh, this is a bad round for our boy Mester.
Yeah, he needed a reset there if he's going to claw his way back in this round.
Nice up kick.
That was nice. Oh.
Shoulder probably. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Well, Fightcade action here right now.
Oh yeah.
God damn.
Fuck it, right? Yeah, you could tell he's like in that mode where he's now putting all the pressure on Mester to like make like really clutch plays. He's just gonna put all the pressure on him.
Yeah, I think as a Makoto player in this matchup, a one-off like Japanese single limb, you just play your game. Try to be as if you're an aggressive player, play aggressive. If you're safe, try to play safe. Also depends on the super, right?
Right.
But in a set like this, Makoto can really thrive because you get all these nice like established mix-ups for what you're doing with Hayate and post Chestos type stuff. So I think Boss was going for like a lot of throws at the first half of this gachi, and now he's just following up each time.
That's interesting. So like the longer the set is, it favors her, or at least like
not
that part
favors.
But that part of the mind game, it's a benefit.
Definitely, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's one reason I hate playing Makoto against someone I've never played against.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's no established mind games or anything.
You need some scouting report, right? Some info.
Again with the crouch strong into Nisho cancel.
Nice.
That's nice. Blow up the parry.
Boy.
Again got caught with a dash up. Got thrown.
That jump back roundhouse again.
He parried that jump back roundhouse into EX Chesto last time.
Yeah.
But he wasn't ready for it this time.
You could sense some tentativeness, but yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know. Mester got to change something up here.
It's striking that balance, right, between like not getting rushed down and not putting yourself out there to get parried. Because that's one thing Boss has been doing is parrying well, but he gets that jab shoulder in.
Yeah, Mester right there finding the crouch strong, like we were saying, with the jab tackle.
Yeah,
oof, oof.
That's
like the no man's land. I hate that spacing. Oh, one more mix up.
Oh,
he went for the cancel instead of trusting it.
Oh.
Okay, reset situation. Just mash tackles. I like it.
Oh man.
Yeah. It is interesting though, if Boss had chosen a normal Chesto there, he might have actually traded with the tackle and won, or gone to judgment. But the EX Chesto takes a long time to start up. And the tackle was already in his face.
That's good to know.
That's a good option actually. If you get medium tackled as Makoto and you block it, dashing up is like Not incredibly free, but free enough that like you can get a little cheap pressure.
Nice. So it's like a nice way to just flip momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just mash throw.
Yeah, because I feel the impulse after blocking shoulder for most players is probably to like option parry, you know, or guess, or you know, or make guess parry after it,
or just spam a low move because everybody thinks, oh, he's negative, but he's not.
Yeah, that's a lesson we learned quick in this game.
Ooh, that was actually a really sick neutral jump, and then they both were looking for parry, and then Mester just got to the neutral jump fierce first.
Yeah, just beat him to that punch. Oh, Tommy.
This is scary here. Sweep again, one more time.
Oh,
the toward medium punch. You don't see that
love
every
that.
time.
Yeah, I love it though.
Dude, cross-up dive kicks are so good.
Yeah.
He was being greedy there. He wanted the Dankah follow-up. This won't kill, but it'll be, oh no, he misses it.
Oh no.
Doesn't even have to spin the bar to get this round. Damn.
That sucks.
Yeah, Mester missing, he missed like 2 enders earlier in the Gachi series too. Oh man, both these guys are in each other's heads right now.
Yeah.
Multiple empty jump throw attacks. So that palm right there is fake car palm, as people call it. You just use stand light kick into quarter circle back punch.
Oh, okay, okay.
It allows you to go hop kick palm, hop kick palm, hop kick palm against like the whole cast pretty much. Nice parry.
Nice punish too. That was
dude, these sweeps.
So much mileage. That's probably why that Torrid strong works so well, right? Because he's using so many sweeps. He's just following up low a lot, and it just gives him that thing that he has to parry forward. You know, it loses to everything else.
Yeah, and it's people don't realize like how active it is. Sweep feels like really active. Like you can meaty with sweep, which is like most characters you can't. Like with like Shoto's, like you get what like 2 active frames or something like that maybe with the sweep.
It's not a lot.
Hers I think is like maybe 3 or 4. Like it's actually kind of out there. Ooh, fully charged Tayete. That was cool. Boss is just kind of like fucking feeling it now, dude.
Yeah, you can tell he's comfortable now. Nice shoulder.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage here. Makoto specific under. Dropped it because he got the 2 hit on the dash punch. You need a 1.
Gotcha. Nice confirm.
That was a meaty ass confirm right there. So one thing that's interesting that you don't see in this matchup a lot is Yun like round start just activate. Because Makoto can do shit like that. Just neutral jump, medium kick, jump back, medium kick.
Her options are pretty good. Even backdash from there. There's like backdash low strong. Just, it's not a terrible thing, you know, compared to other characters' options.
But he's got bar again.
Yeah,
he missed the meaty. He missed the meaty. Yeah, followed up with a short anyways. Short dash punch is so good on her.
Yeah, I think that's something that more like twins need to like, you know, make a fundamental in their game is like going for short confirms.
I agree. It's his best low option like period.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Dude,
just jump back medium kick. It's so good, especially in the corner.
Yep.
Because like a lot of times people think, oh, the Yun can just do launch kick, right, which is close medium kick because it hits so high. But Makoto's hurt box goes like all the way back here and just like puts out the medium kick so well. That's a really nice re-corner option that you have against Makoto as well. You do the close medium kick and just walk forward, and then Dankah puts her back in the corner.
Nice.
And she's fat enough you can get stuff like that too.
Yeah. You get yeah, that's the thing, right? It's that both of these characters can do really saucy shit against the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think when Matsuda was working up these fights, he was like, okay, most of them are high tiers because those are the more entertaining matches. But then we'll throw in some wacky matches like a Hayao and Genki, you know.
Yeah.
Nice. Just holding up, dude. He's just holding up. It's such a solid option.
Yep.
Oh, the red parry, he's gonna get hit. Oh, that was sick. Okay, ends up with a corner combo anyways.
Yeah, fair amount of meter. Oh no.
Misses that. That is kind of a weird timing, to be fair.
Yeah.
You just do Zempo and then slight walk up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 up kicks. Build a little meter here. Oh, okay.
That's strange.
Decided to go with that, yeah. I would have just done super jump roundhouse and then land and do fierce or something, but it's not a big deal. More sweeps. He's pairing them now, at least.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh no.
Jeez. And that's always like the risk when you're looking for like button integration.
Right.
It's,
oh no. That's the mix up though. Like they both land same time. Is Mester gonna hold up? Let's just hit Stand Fierce, you know. And if anything has been shown in the last like 7 matches of this gachi, is Mester's holding up the majority of the time.
Right.
That's what I was saying, going back to like having such a long set as Makoto and getting these post chesto mind games and establishing the rock paper scissors. It's like, all right, Mester, you're gonna keep holding up. I'm gonna start just hitting raw fierces on you.
No, yeah, it only makes sense, right? Because you know, like when Makoto holds up against Yun, it's usually inconsequential unless he has like Ganesian and he like hits you with a launch into activate. But you know, when Makoto holds up, I mean, when Yun holds up, it's a big deal if Boss could get the read.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you do so much damage and so much stun, apparently, with Fukiage, which he's done multiple times now.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, Mester just missing shit, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. That should have been punished. Yeah.
That's a scary proposition. Oh, no.
Neutral jump.
Yep. Every time.
That was a loss by Mester, not a win by Boss right there, though. He dropped like multiple things.
100%. Right at the end there, too. It was looking clean.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Did so many sweeps. When Makoto players start using Toward Fierce, you know they're feeling it.
It's true.
You're like, damn, really? Oh, dude, just so many reads.
Damn. That was a quick final game there.
Yeah, jeez. You just start throwing these, like, I feel like once you just repeat something like 4 or 5 times in a row, like what Tominaga does, right? Like, he'll just do low short Orochi, low short Orochi, low short Orochi over and over and over. And okay, yeah, you would think, well, that's easily readable. He's going to do it again. But then he croxes you, and then you're mind fucked for the next X amount of rounds, or if you're playing a full set, you know. So it's really valuable, even though it's like, wow, Boss is literally just, you know, sweeping 5 times in a row off of X amount of mix-ups, right? Off of a air-to-air trade, or parries a dive kick and hits stand jab and goes to the other side and then sweeps. But he's choosing that each mix-up. It just makes, when he doesn't choose that, so much better.
Right.
Down the line.
Now, do you think that there's like some, you know, utility in like, is there a perspective that you think Boss gets from not just playing Makoto that like maybe Makoto players like should take away from? Or is it just, you know, that he just plays her and he plays her pretty well, and you know, it's box standard, so like study him anyway? Or is there something unique about him, and do you think that might have to do with like that he plays so many different characters at a high level? Like, I don't know how many more people can, you know, play, you know, Yun, Ken, and Makoto in at Co-op Cup, you know, and be
true,
legit.
right? Whether it's pre-coup, and he'll play 2 different characters in the same weekend,
right,
because he'll play like Yun in a pre-coup, or Makoto in a pre-coup, and then he'll go play Ken or Yun, right, with his main coup team. I think it's definitely, it's helpful to learn every character for sure, because you gain insight no matter how much time you put in. But then, like you said with Boss, because he is unique, having such amount of like not even just like experience playing the character, but tournament experience, you know, like as a Makoto player, if you've played Yun or if you played Ken, there's kind of like a sixth sense I feel like Boss has. I think Mimura and Tominaga have it as well, just because they've drilled so much with Makoto. But like, just knowing he really wants to jump right now, like after whatever type of mix-up you want to insert, like he's gonna jump. Like there's that feeling, and I think that's only heightened when you play Yun and Ken and you go up against those characters later. Yeah. Or just like, you know, playing Yun at such a high level like he has, he knows there's certain things that Yun just can't deal with, like a neutral jump with, you know, medium kick or jump back medium kick, or like those sweeps, like we were saying earlier, at a certain distance, you just can't punish them as Yun. And so, sure, maybe it's not, you know, the most explosive pressure in the world, but at least he's like keeping Mester honest by sweeping all the time at max range, and he's building meter because Mester's blocking that.
Right.
And, you know, that's really valuable because even though it's being blocked and it's at a certain distance, you're still kind of claiming that distance as your own.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe, like, to circle back to your question, like Footsies is kind of the more applicable point of playing these other characters. Like, I know this character that I play loves to stand at this distance. So let's either A, just not give him that distance, or B, make him at least feel a little uncomfortable there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to that, with to the blocking point that you just made, because I think that's something that gets lost on people who maybe like to players who are not, you know, necessarily as experienced as other players, is the importance and the utility of making your opponent block your stuff, especially when Makoto has this hydrogen bomb, right, that she's loading up all
Yeah.
game long, and that's just, it gets you closer to that. And then what I like about the block sweep too is that even if it's up close, you're still putting the Yun in a situation to do a really hard, you know, punish. And so like even guest pairing after the sweep, you know, might yield something. But then when you're far away and you land that sweep, even if they block it, right, landing it, you know, all of that space, I think that's a nice coverage for like Yun to want to dive kick in, that Makoto can deal with pretty easily, you know, with stand medium kick, or, you know, even a stand medium punch. And so it's just nice to measure your opponent in that way. You know, it's like, I'm sticking this here, I know you're there now, you know?
Right. You can kind of place them there on the stage for a moment in time, and then maybe Boss has a specific follow-up that he really likes, whether, like you were saying, like, because you can have that sweep blocked and then just like go for a guess low parry real quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only thing that would actually reach you anyways is Yun's like crutch forward, right? Unless Yun like just was literally spamming stand fierce
Right.
and caught you right as like within the 5-6 frames that you're, you know, tapping low after that block sweep. But it's also like not even just, okay, having somebody block your move gives you meter, and she needs that meter very quickly, right? And she can build it very quickly, but like that's only if she's starting to roll. And kind of like I was saying, going back to like SA2 versus SA1, I think they're both super usable in the matchup, and there's merits to both. But like SA1, if you're already rolling, right, and you get the Karaksa and you've gotten like 2 Chesto guesses in a row, or mix-ups, post-Hayate mix-ups in a row, you're already like close to killing Yun. Because his stun it'll probably be like Karaksa, Fierce to Chesto, and then, okay, here's your window of your mix-up, right? If you get Karaksa again, then you do Fierce to EX Chesto. He's already at like 90% stun.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need that meter immediately if you're already rolling, right? You don't need to pop the SA1. But if you choose to have a little bit more passive style, like Boss kind of did through most of this gachi, just chipping away essentially at your own meter bar by having them block those sweeps,
Right.
is really smart. And you're signaling to Mester, dude, no, you cannot come in this range.
Right.
I will spam the shit out of this. And he does over and over and over.
Yeah. What I also like about Boss's Makoto, and it's not unique to him, because this is a very it's something that only Makotos that either like play in Japan or have played in Japan do, and it's this idea of being very like active turtling in a way. You know, like he's very content to do the best neutral jump in the game all day long, as long as it's not yielding anything negative. You know, if it's neutral, then it's perfectly fine, because at least you're getting meter with that neutral jump medium kick, right? But you know, it has so much mileage, and you're not putting yourself in the corner, you know, but you're not putting yourself out there to get parried either. And I don't see many Makotos doing that over here, or have that style. I think it's very much more dash in or jump in axe kick. I think that's two very
yeah. If you notice choices in that mat, that's a great thing to bring up. There's very little axe kicks in that entire gachi.
Yeah,
because medium kick is just better. in this specific matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, axe kick is really good, and it essentially gives you a knockdown and free pressure against certain characters. Other characters that get up really fast, no. But against certain characters, it's definitely a better option. But in this matchup, like you said, like he's also just, even if all he does by neutral jumping is neutral jump, and then not quite at the apex, but as you're landing, stick out the crouch medium kick, and then just land again, and nothing happens. He controlled that space for 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And he built a little bit of meter by within a normal. And maybe within that amount of time, he made Mester feel more comfortable at spamming crouch medium punch. So maybe right as he lands, he can do crouch medium punch of his own and punish that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Mester during that time just says, I don't want anything to do with that jump medium kick. I'm going to walk away here.
Yeah.
Now he's walked himself into the corner. So it's like all these things that Boss is signaling towards Mester. Again, like we were saying, player versus player, less than character versus character. If you just look at normal versus normal, it's character versus character. But if you look at his willingness to constantly do the medium kick, neutral jump, that's a player versus player signaling, don't come at me. I'm going to be active. Like you said, active turtling.
Right.
Just sticking out good buttons. And
Right.
Makoto has plenty of them, so why not?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah, you're right, because a lot of I think what we conceive in the U.S. as turtling is unfavorable, but then it's also this very particular type of turtling. It's a very, very passive turtling. Like, I'm gonna stay all the way over here and build meter, and that's it. And it's become kind of a trope, a bit of a meme. And like, all you do in Third Strike is build meter.
Yeah.
But and it has some truth to it, but it's been like propelled forward by this style of turtling and building meter that's not fun to watch. Nobody wants to watch people walk back into the corners and build meter, but what you're seeing is Boss building meter just in a more active way. And it doesn't mean that he's a bitch or it's but over here it's very much so like, if I'm not dashing in, I have to jump in and axe kick, or like set your launching point from here because I'm gonna axe kick now. Like, I have to get in,
right,
as a Makoto. And that's something that I think experienced Makoto's used to their advantage. And that was something that I pointed out in the Tominaga film room, is that he's really turtly. He's not, he does wacky shit. And he does wacky decisions when you're up close in the scramble. But his primary play style is he's just going to turtle. And, if you give him a chance to go in, he's going to go in. But he's not, like, looking to rush people down all day. And that's what I wanted to take away. That's what I wanted Makoto players to take away from that. But, as a Makoto main yourself, a Makoto expert, like, what things would you... Like, what would be a to-do list for a person who's trying to pick up Makoto, and things that you want to, bury into their fundamentals? Like, this is your foundation.
I think you're super right using the Tominaga example of turtling, but also looking for your shot. It's really just looking for a window. I think most people, when they think of Makoto, they think of a rushdown character. She is not. I think she is a very balanced character because of the strengths of her normals. They're just such good buttons that it can lend itself to, like, let me jump in medium kick, but neutral jumping medium kick and jumping back medium kick. I use that button over and over because it is that good. I know people might be like, he's only talking about medium kick. Dude, it's that good. And the majority of the advice that Tominaga would tell me when I was living over there, if I was playing in a Game Newton 3v3, or if I was just playing East vs West Wars, he'd be go, Dankah, my juke. The juke is medium kick. He would just go, just do more medium kick. Like, that was his only advice. But the layer behind that is, like you're saying, you can play Makoto balanced. You can play her really safe. You can play her rushdown. You should play her rushdown once you initiate the Chesto vortex, right? Once you get that first Chesto, yes, you should follow up, unless you're really low in life or you're really high on life, because like sometimes you get the Chester and you're like, that's fine, all I need is one more poke, let's back off, which then she can go back. So she's explosive, but she's not a rushdown character, is how I would put it. Once she does get her, when she unlocks her offense, then let's go, let's use it and let's take advantage. But like, you don't have to rush things. Just look at the way she walks. She's not rushing anything, man. Right. She's just walking like T2 Terminator, man. Like she's just gonna walk straight at you or stand there and wait for you to come to her, which is what Tominaga does. His whole game plan is let my opponent hang themselves by doing a jump in normal, which then he'll do jump forward parry, right? Like you were talking about in your film room. You see him do this all the time. He'll just jump forward empty at somebody and hope that they try to do a air to air. He parries that, just does a light kick in the air. He lands first because that's what happens in Third Strike. He dashes under, and then now they're falling in him while he's in the corner, and that's the Tominaga mix-up. You either have to jump out, you have to block, you have to DP if you have one, or super if you're willing to. And all of that entire situation came from the opponent deciding to air to air. All he was doing is neutral jumping, right? Or if somebody literally neutral jumps in at him, he'll just dash under, grab you, or he'll look for some kind of poke or parry jab, and then dash under, get the Tominaga mix up again. So like he is an extreme example, I think, of the more turtley style, but because that lends itself to SA2.
Right. And
then you have Mimura, who just like rush down. You know, everybody's seen that Paramore PMV, right? The Paramore song, and Mimura's just doing like dash up, jab, stand short, chesto, and like looking really cool. But like that's his style, and Makoto is fully valid to play that way. Personally, I think the style that is more effective at a high level against the top tier characters is the Tominaga style. Just because you're putting yourself more out there when you're playing Mimura style, and you have more chance of getting hurt. But then you have somebody like Chance. Then you have somebody like Chibachi, or some of the other, like I would consider like A tier, not S tier Makotos, but A tier Makotos who are on Korobi, which is the Makoto 5 that plays at pre-coup. And they play a little bit more of a balanced style. Our boy Nika, Lloyd, he played against Chance in top 8. Lloyd made top 8. Everybody go check it out and watch it. I think it was like 2017. I know you were there that year, right?
Yeah.
Played against Chance, and Chance played kind of a reserved style, but then when he exploded and he needed to, he exploded. And he was able to seal the deal against Lloyd. And so what I would say, to circle back to your question, if you're a Makoto player that wants to learn, and even if you're not a Makoto player and you're just generally interested in the character, I think you should be interested because she can be played in a kind of a hybrid way. She's not just a rushdown. Like if you're somebody that already plays like, I don't know, like an SA1 Ryu, and you just, I just want to play Street Fighter, you know, and that's your style. Or if you're a Chun that just wants to run away, or a Remy or something like that, which don't play Remy. But if you're interested in Makoto, you can play her whichever way you were playing your other characters. Or if you're coming from another game that is like a CVS2 style, right? That's a little more safe. You can play Makoto that way. So that'd be my main takeaway. I mean, if you're looking for specific matchup stuff against Yun, I think we covered that as we're watching it. Like, look at that normal, look at that decision. But like, it just goes to show it within the same gachi series, you can go watch Tominaga versus Kuni, and it's a wild ride.
It's a rodeo.
And it's a very different style of Makoto.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think like players have to contend with that paradox at some point, right? Like Makoto has access to such explosive damage, and so people want to like manifest that as early as possible, but because she can be so explosive is why you should relax, because there'll be 9 seconds on the clock and you can expire your opponent's health in 7 seconds, you know? And so that's something that I think it's not as, and it's a harder playstyle I think to master is the turtley playstyle, because there's something instinctual in it, and understanding when is an appropriate time to go in and press your advantage. Whereas I think when you're playing one style or the other, it's always that's what you're gonna do, and so if it works, it works, and when it doesn't, it doesn't. So yeah,
it's also why I think you end up seeing a lot of Makoto players play Yun, or Yun players play Makoto, because I think they're similar in that way that like we saw with Mester, Yun can play a little bit more reserved. It's tough when it's against Makoto because you can just get blown up in 9 seconds, like you said, and it looks like you weren't playing reserved, but it's really just more an evidence of her offense rather than your lack of defense. Whereas like then you have like Sho or like Derun, who's like a little bit more of a lesser known Yun, but like he plays like super aggro, and he'll be in your face, and he's just like, if I get my bar first, I win, right? So let's just let's have offense and let's just like make you block everything. And so I think there's like merit to understanding that as well, that like there are certain characters in this game that are like definitely just rushed down, or definitely just like the better Chun is the reserved Chun. Like for
Right.
sure. At the highest levels, for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Is the reserve Chun, because her normals are so good and because her like her dash under and her walk speed are so good. But then like the better Yang is arguably the more aggressive one, because he does need to press advantage sooner rather than later in the round. So I think there are merits to that, but it's fun to play a character that's more balanced. Like Ken is super balanced. I mean,
Right.
you could talk to that too.
Right.
You have somebody like Deshi Ken gets kind of aggro sometimes, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like he can play reserve for sure,
Oh,
and you see that in certain matchups.
Right.
But like when he's playing against Nuki or Rikimaru, like the top tier Chuns, he's like, dude, I don't have the time to spare. Like
Right.
I gotta play aggro, and he'll
Right.
do that with Ken.
Yeah, and even when he's turtly, like against characters like Urien, it's like this frenetic turtling. It's like this, like spamming low jab, spamming all of these like high,
Ready to DP, like
right.
literally at any second.
Right, just spamming these buttons that have such big, hitboxes, and you know, so again, it's about like actively turtling, and that's something that I think is an appropriate takeaway from this match, because even though the matches ended with such a bang, a lot of the rounds did, all of that intermediary stuff was just Boss just chilling out, making one small decision here, like let's see if this jump back roundhouse is gonna work, and then EX Chesto, and then boom, then the party gets started.
And he's not always looking to anti-air.
Right.
Like he, in a way, he's not having anti-air because he's already in the air, like neutral jump, medium kicking, or just being active with dashing. And that is something that I think is super hard for newer Makoto players. Even if you're like been playing Makoto for a few years or something like that, her walk speed is just so unique. And having to like always understand where you will end up on the screen if you backdash or dash forward, and then what types of moves you can get blown up by. So there is a lot of like, you'll see Boss get hit by something, or like trade air to air, or maybe even have like some kind of weird like counter hit mid screen, but he won't necessarily just be like, well, I got a counter hit, I'll dash forward.
Right.
Because it's just not the right time to do it. And that's just from 20 years of him playing, and understanding like, okay, well, it seems like a dash up would be good here, but it's not my max distance, which then means that even if I cancel my dash animation at the very end, I'll still get blown up. And that does happen quite a few times, especially off of the sweep that we were talking about. You see him sweep, and then he's like, all right, like a dash up, and I got to start my offense, right? Because I got a meaty. But Yun is already up, and he back throws him, right? And if Mester was maybe Sho instead, or Yakun, instead of just mashing back throw, they would have just done 1, 2, 3. And then gotten a whole combo and built all this meter, or done 50, 60%. If it's Sho, he would have done 70% car fierce the whole way, or something like that.
Right.
But like that is also a really good example of like going all the way back to like player versus player. Like Sho's just trying to, well, hey, I got gifted a mistimed meaty. I'm gonna back throw him. I'm gonna try and reset, build my meter, and do my thing.
Yeah, it's. I'm happy that you mentioned that, because Colin and I spoke about this idea of Third Strike being very unique in what being advantageous means, because of things like parrying. You're able to steal your opponent's turn at any time, and so if a player's coming from another conventional fighting game and they read the numbers and they say, oh, this is +4 on block, so that means that I can press something else after this, and that's not necessarily the case. And so like, are there any like maybe examples that you had to of that with Makoto, that you had to like learn to get yourself out of the habit of pressuring in specific ways? Or is there any advice that you can give to newer Makoto players that find themselves hating guest parry, for instance, or just not understanding that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Makoto players need to realize is, on like, let's use that situation like after the sweep or something, right? But let's say he timed it well, so he's at the meaty situation. A lot of Makoto players will just do, well, stand strong is a great button, it's +8. That's awesome. Not a lot of buttons in this game are +8. That's pretty sick. Let's just spam that. And then they get guest period and they're like, well, my whole opportunity was gone. And just like understanding that if you go for Karaksa as a meaty, even if they jump out, it's not really a missed opportunity. You
Mm.
took your opportunity. You tried to get the throw, and again, that sends a signal to them, hey, I will throw you. And maybe that player, if they're above average, they'll think, oh, I'm glad I didn't down parry or high parry. I would have gotten blown up.
Right.
I'm lucky to be alive, kind of thing. Like, I got out. But also, just based on the spacing, certain characters' jump backs are not good. Like I don't know, like a Necro or something like that, right? Where if you go for meaty Karaxa and they jump back, you can still kind of pressure. Like, you could just dash up, or maybe instant jump forward medium kick or something like that. So that's something that, like, I would say I don't want to say a younger Makoto, but an earlier on Makoto player, they just love the stand strong.
Yeah.
Or they'll just do like on meaty low short chesto. Where instead, if you do low short Orochi, even if they parry the low short, a lot of times the Orochi will get them, or you're at least not like minus like 12 or 13 or whatever a dash punch is on block.
Right.
And then you get blown up. So I don't know. And then maybe like a crouch strong chesto cancel, dash forward. A lot of people want to dash forward after they chesto cancel that.
Yeah.
Even though it's on block and you're not really plus. And a dash takes like, even though it looks really fast, it's still a decent amount of frames.
Yeah.
Like as a Ken player, you know that like you can just sit there mid screen, wait for the Makoto to dash up, and then you just target combo her. Right? And it's such a strong punish.
Yep.
Because what's stand medium punch, like 5 frames or something like that from Ken?
Believe so.
And so, like, yeah, like your opponent can be just as patient as you are. It's just that if you're a young Makoto player, like, you're not patient. You're just gonna go in.
Right. Well, I mean, but that's a good that's a good piece of advice. Like, don't rely on the buttons too much to establish your advantage. You know, because all of those
don't rely on the dash too.
Right. And all of those examples you said are particularly like high-ish risk. I mean, high-ish reward, low risk. You know, like you said, if they jump out of the Karaxa, well, then it's not a big deal. If they neutral jump, they're actually in your lap, so that's a good thing. And then, you know, if they block Orochi, you're good. It's not like what you said, committing to a chesto that will invariably get punished very hard, very hardly.
Yeah,
so.
And if you do enough low risk, high reward things, let's just say a low risk, high reward has less chance of working, right, than like a high risk, high reward or something. Whereas the high risk like might definitely work this time, but if it misses, you get completely blown up and you might just lose the entire round. But if you gather up like 3 low risk, high reward opportunities, you'll probably get one of them. And well, I should say low risk, medium reward.
Yeah, right. Low risk.
Then high risk, high reward.
Right.
Because that's the thing. She doesn't have any like low reward stuff. She just doesn't. The character's too good.
Right.
You know, like most of the top tier characters don't have any low reward stuff. When you think of low reward, you think of like, cool, I got a down parry with Remy.
Right.
You know? Or like...
So you got a super with no Oki or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But all the high tier characters, like... even their like low risk type stuff gets you medium reward or some kind of Oki and, you know, set play type stuff too. So if you just scrounge up enough low risk, medium reward stuff with Makoto, you can start your offense and then be moving. But it keeps you alive at least. And you're not just running full tilt at the opponent.
Right. That's awesome. But yeah, we're running on time. So that's good. We got an hour in.
Perfect.
This was amazing. If you would have, like, I asked Colin this, I'm probably gonna make this a thing. If you could have like one like fortune cookie type advice for a budding third strike player, to help them get on their way, what would it be?
Fortune cookies. Don't always press the button.
That's
a good one. Don't always press the button.
That's perfect.
Whereas like if you're talking like Street Fighter 5 or even like anime games or something like that, right? Where like pressure is just so solid. You always
press the button, right?
You always press the button. You're plus. Let's press. Don't always press the button. Yeah. And that doesn't just apply to block strings and like when you're doing pressure. That applies to whiffing normals for meter. Because like at the highest level, what you'll see with the Japanese players is they won't just like sit mid-screen and just like, is there nothing going on? I'm Ken. I'm going to hit Emperor Punch, medium punch like all the time. No, because they're actively looking for a space and maybe sweep, or they don't want to get blown up for building meter. So not even just like don't always finish your block string, don't always just be hell bent on building bar if there's nothing else going on, because you can be looking for something else. You can be looking for a dash up, you can be looking for a poke, you can be looking for a parry, but none of that exists. None of those options exist to you if you're just stuck building meter.
That's amazing. That's perfect. Thanks so much, bro. I really appreciate it.
Dude, absolutely. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun watching Makoto play, especially against Yin, because it's such a good matchup. Like I said, Matsuda did a really good job. I think Taihei probably helped as well, choosing who would play. But like I said, these are some of the matches you would see anyways in top 8 of Cooperation Cup. So I think it was a fitting thing to do. And I think first to 10s in this style are always entertaining, whether it's Japanese players or foreign players. So I think it's highly replicatable as well.